Well, I followed the instructions of the heater core sealer. It's been idling for 50 minutes with the stuff circulating through it. And if you see the windshield, there's no fog whatsoever. You see underneath where the fog would have been coming out when it's on heater. Nothing. Defrost. Nothing. So if you have a fogging up heater system where your windshield keeps fogging up every time you turn on your heater or your defrost, especially on an older car that you can't combine air conditioning and heating at the same time, or defrost, whatever, at the same time. Mine was obviously not severe because I saw no leakage inside the cabin where the heater core is located, but my windshield would get foggy anytime I turned on the heater or the defrost, no matter how I cleaned it or Rain-X or nothing, you know, nothing really helped. So I read online, you try this stuff right here. All you do is you got to siphon out some radiator fluid first to allow for the, you know, for about this much. If you got a V8, you'll need about 1.5 bottles of this. 4-cylinder or V6 will only be 1 bottle, but you need to account for room, you know, inside your radiator. So you have to siphon some out first, and you do this with a cold engine, of course. And then you very slowly, you'll crank it up with the cap off while the engine is cold. Slowly pour some of this in, very slowly. They say you should take as long as 1 minute to pour the bottle in, so you don't just dump it in. You know, you pour it in very slowly. Make sure your heater is turned on in the car, of course, and then you let it idle for almost an hour. And I'm right at 48 minutes right now. And by golly, you see there is not a lick of fogging on the windshield. The interior windows were fogged up as well, which was also what was happening. No longer doing that. The heat is just now making its way to the back windows because it's still a little foggy on the back. But son of a gun, yeah, this stuff is expensive. $30 a bottle. But shoot, you want to compare that to replacing your heater core? Yeah. No thanks. So this was worth a shot, and it had high ratings online. You know, it's one of those things you're skeptical until you try it. And shoot, so far I am sold, and the stuff hasn't even sat overnight. Usually they say after you heat the car up and circulate it through for an hour, once the stuff sets in for overnight, it further seals up any holes in your heater core or even your head gasket and that sort of thing. And they say your problem should be solved. Now, you know, if your heater core is really severely leaking, where you got drips in the cabin and all that, you know, I don't know if this will work, but mine was not doing that. Mine was just emitting some fog on the interior windows. Not no more. So, try it out. See what happens. What do you got to lose, right?